Consider this swap program. We know that there is a problem with pass by value. You would have been introduced to this. Now we'll look at visually what really happens and what causes this problem. So here is the code for swap program. You can see that A and B are assigned 20 and 30, and then the swap is being called and you are passing A and B to it. And finally, we expect that the A and B get indeed swapped, and then we print AB. Okay, this is what we have. And how is swap defined? It's defined over here. So you have take you need a temporary variable, and then you do some exchanges, and then 3 assignments will uh, swap A and B. Okay, so the important thing to understand is that this AB and this AB are different. Okay, that's what we will see here. Okay, though the name is same, it could be different because this is a formal parameters, and these are actual parameters which go into the call. Okay, and they both are distinct, and that is why the problem happens, right? So let's look at it. Okay, so let's see the mapping to the low level instruction. So your starting point is this. So let's say AB is assigned 20 and 30. So A and B are global variables because they are outside any functions. So A, B are defined as global variables, and then there are 2 assignment statements which sets a value 20 and 30. Okay. So that's how it's accomplished. Now the next is a call to um, swap. Okay, so wherein we pass the global variables to the swap function. So that means 20 and 30 would get passed. Okay, so this results in a low level instruction function call, F call, no? It's some equivalent instruction. So and then a swap is being called. Okay, but we are not ready to start working on swap yet. Okay, because this swap function, if you note down, okay, if you look at it, it has 2 parameters A and B, and it is also having another local variable. So all these things have to be set up, and this is usually set up in the stack because it's a function. Okay, so so when that happens, what we need to do is we need to push these variables A, B, and temp. They are pushed onto the stack, and mind you, these are local variables. They are different from the global variables. These are typically a local variables. So the next thing is we would see that no, the from the global variables, no, it has to be copied. The 20 and 30, the actual parameters are supplied to the um, formal parameters. So this copy happens. This copy is what you can see here, A to A and B to B. Okay, so this is the copy that happens. Once that happens, now we are in a position to execute that function. So now there is a command to a low level instruction to really enter the swap function, having set up these things. So this is the reason your function call is actually a costly no, operation, because it requires a set of low level operations, more low level operations to set up the no, environment, memory, and no, assignments, so that we can get started. Now that we have done all those steps, let's now look into how the swap function is. So the control goes to swap, and then swap instructions are executed. And this instruction, if you say temp equal to A, would translate into 2 statements, load and store, because you will copy A to register, and from register you would copy it back to the temp. So this is what typically you will do. Similarly, A, B, again, now you will copy B to register, and then back to A. And this is how typically now you go. So there are 3 assignments, each involving 1 load and 1 store, and that's how your swap finishes. So once it's done, then you return. When you return, you come back to this particular area. So all these things are done. Now you're back to this swap. So the next thing that you have to do is print. So the next statement would be, so outputting the A and B values. So this is in summary how the SAP program works, and you can very well appreciate the fact that because of pass by value, when you print AB, it would still be 2030, but not 3020, because all you have changed is this AB, and this AB doesn't get changed at all. This is a global variable, doesn't get changed at all. All you have done is on the local variables. Okay, so let's see it's working now. Let's get started. So the global variables are set up A and B, and the values are assigned. A is 30, B is 40, it is being assigned. Then a function call to swap happens. Okay, so now we are not ready to do the no, swap. Um, so before we do the control shift to the swap, we need to set up the stack. So that's where no, the stack segment A gets pushed, B gets pushed, and the other local variable also gets pushed. Okay, now that we have made space to that, and then now we can copy the input parameters. So here is where you see A is being copied from here to stack segment, and B is being copied to stack segment, and temp is not assigned. Okay, that needs to be computed on while processing the swap function. Okay, now we are in a position to enter swap. Okay, so the swap is defined down below. So when you go there and then swap, it control comes to the swap, and then now we need to load A, B, and temp, right? So and then and then it gets stored back. So this is what happens. So now A gets loaded to the register, and this value is copied to temp, right? And then next thing is B gets loaded to another register, and it gets it assigned to A. So the A value changes. Finally, the temp gets loaded, and its value is assigned to B. So this is the three-way process to swap another two numbers. Once that is swapped, now we are returning. When we return, we'll be returning to this particular point. After we entered, we'll return to line 11. So that's where we are, and then no, it prints the values 30, 40. And if you look at the original AB, never got changed. Okay, and what changed was the local variables, right? So that's the key thing that no, with respect to the pass by value, that you need to understand. Okay, so in case you need the program to work correctly, so what you may have to do is in the swap you would have to return AB, so that no, it gets reassigned back. Whatever changes had happened here, it gets reassigned back to the data segment, and then you can do your print. Or if you do a print inside the function, it would look fine. Okay, but never here. Okay, thank you.